All right, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Forgive me, I'm going to read off the Wikipedia article here. So if I sound like I'm just reading off a teleprompter, that's exactly what's happening. So, what I have for you today is a sword that I just received after a couple months of waiting for it. Um, I basically was the only person to bid on this item on eBay, which was really surprising. So, I got it for basically nothing. I was really surprised. These go for easily 2 to 3 times the price what I paid for it. So you never know if you look on eBay or auction sites and there's no activity on it. You may get lucky on finding just treasures here and there. But what I have for you today is a French 1816 model foot artillery short sword. And this is based off the Roman gladius that would be featured in paintings, neoclassical paintings at the time of the Napoleonic Wars. This was a issued weapon during those conflicts, and I don't know if this saw action against the British, the Spaniards, or the Russians, but it's really interesting to kind of wonder at where this sword has been. Um, Also, it's weird to think that this survived that conflict, survived the time period between then and World War One, survived World War One, survived World War Two, survived just hanging out until 2021, when a couple months ago I won the bid on this, and it's been waiting in limbo due to COVID lockdowns, and finally got here. And now it's in my collection, and it is a treasure to me, and I will keep this safe. And I am working to restore this blade slightly because there is a little bit of repair that was done at some point on this blade, and I'm going to be refixing it and just sort of restoring this to a decent shape because it is, aged. There is patina. I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to do anything to sharpen it or whatever from its original condition. The point is really scary sharp, but as it is, I'm just going to clean up some of the rust or whatever and let it sit because it's really a beautiful item. So I'm going to read off the Wikipedia here to give you a little bit of description of what this sword was. The 1816 artillery short sword was a sidearm issued to the French foot artillery, heavily influenced by the prevailing neoclassical style of the day. The sword was based on ancient sculptural depictions of the Roman gladius, the standard short sword of the Roman legionaries. The short sword would not have been a practical weapon for combat without a shield, but it served as a fantastic fascine knife or a machete to clear fields for the use of heavy guns. It also served for other practical uses, and the French soldiers took to calling it the coupe chaud, or the cabbage cutter. It was in service until about 1870. The model was reissued in 1831 with minor changes, most visibly the newer model ringed grip, which is, I believe, what this model is, um, rather than the fish scale pattern as seen on earlier models. It also provided the inspiration for the American Model 1832 foot artillery short sword, um, and that retained the fish scale grips and was in use during the Civil War. So this had some influence on different swords in different military circles. It is a very cool sword, very ergonomic, really handy. I would, if I got issued this, I think I would actually be fairly happy with it because it is a nice, handy sword. It's not too big. It's not long, so if I'm sitting down or whatever, I don't have it, getting in my way. And it is fairly stout. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Um, the point is very sharp, and the blade is not as sharp. I would say even dull in some places, just because it's so old. It's 100 and well over 150 years old, more at this point. Um, but like I said, I will be just sort of restoring this a little bit. There are some spots that need to be touched up and just kind of repaired a little bit. But I'll go ahead and show you this sword as I received it. I just oiled it, so um, you can see it has arsenal markings. there and there, and a stamp on the blade. On the other side of the guard, there's another stamping. This is a through peen, so it is a legit sword. You can see the peen there. This is a cast bronze handle. There is a little bit of patina in these capital sort of spiral areas. Again, this is inspired by the Roman gladius. The fit on the guard is really nice. This is a legit sword. There's no gap between the blade and the guard. This is really a nicely produced sword. This is a work of craftsmanship. You can see that this has been beat up on or possibly used. I believe this was used at some point, because where the stamping was right here, there appears to be a strike from a blade where something chopped into it. And to my mind, nothing's going to do that like another sword or a knife. There's several strikes on this portion of the blade, so to me that tells me that somebody was defending themselves at some point, or dropping this on the edge of a I don't know, edge of a metal piece or something. But that distinctly looks like a chop. And these were issued, so I don't know what the date of manufacture for this particular sword is, but there is some minor edge damage, minor nicks. So that tells me this was, I don't know if you can see any of it, my camera's so crappy. You can see edge on edge and several spots. I'll show you on this side because there was a repair done. There, you can see the nick on the blade. So I do believe this was issued and actually used in combat. Somebody repaired this with silver solder and some kind of compound. I will be sort of doing something about that. I'm not really sure how to restore that, but it is splotchy and bumpy, and I want to remove it and restore the blade to a good, healthy shape. The silver solder is just fine. That is perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. But go ahead and I'll show you the handle here as best I can. It has, like I said, these two spiral capital style crossguard. It is symmetrical on both sides. It's well fitted. It leads into a very attractive and ergonomic handle. So this has a big dramatic palm swell in the middle, as well as on the distal side. So it's thinner here at the top, widens out, and then gets thinner again. So it's very, very comfy in the hand. Very, very good feeling. It gives a little bit of extra room for a second hand or to choke down on for extra chopping power. The pommel is a nice wide oval shape, and as I said before, it is through peened, and the peening is seamless. It's not noticeable with your fingers. They did an amazing job. This was a very well produced weapon. I know that the French are famed for their Napoleonic through the turn of the century weapons development. They were I believe it was a French guy who produced the first cartridge firearms, like the first cartridges for firearms. They produced a bunch of the first different variations of rifles and pistols and different things. The French were sort of at the forefront in this time period, and this is just sort of an example, a testament to their craftsmanship. They really were skilled at making weapons, and I am very pleased to have this in my collection. It is a gorgeous sword, and just you pick it up, it's got a little bit of heft to it, and it just feels like you're ready to fight. Of course, this is a treasure to me, and I will be keeping it safe in a collection and handing it down to my children so they can keep it safe, because it is a historical artifact. It needs to be treated with respect, and the only changes I will be giving to it are cosmetic improvements. I will be trying to not get rid of all of the patina, but restore areas of heavy damage just as best I can, so that it is, you know, it will last another lifetime, 2 lifetimes, 3 lifetimes. I want this sword to survive me and my ancestors, or me and my descendants. So again, this is a beautiful, well-made sword. I'm very pleased to have it in my collection. It took a long time to get here. What was cool is it came with a legit French wine cork stuck on the end of the blade in the packaging, so that was neat. But like I said, this is the 1816 pattern model, I guess, foot artillery short sword. Got it on eBay a long time ago and finally showed up, and I was blown away by the condition for being well over 150 years old, more than that at this point. It's just a treasure. It reminds me of that sword Sting from The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. It's got that same leaf blade shape. Just really an attractive sword. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed receiving this in the mail. Definitely a little bit of a pick-me-up from this COVID depression. So you guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.